CNBC TV18 Marquee Nights.
Great stories start with powerful conversations. Welcome to Marquee Nights by CNBC TV18 and Storyboard 18, a celebration of bold leaders and breakthrough ideas. In this edition, we sit down with Yannick Bolloré, Chairman and CEO of Havas Group, a global visionary redefining media, creativity, and leadership. He believes in the lasting power of brands and the legacies they build. Now, let's hear from the man himself.
Yannick, bonjour, bonsoir, et bienvenue sur Gurugram. I hope I said it right.
Bravo. I didn't know this interview would be in French. Thank you very much.
All right, so today we are with Yannick behind Vivendi's bold restructuring. That is what we are discussing. Their strategy as the company transitions three major brands, Canal Plus, Lagardère, Havas, into independent entities, from choosing exchanges in London and Amsterdam to navigating the complexities of public listings. We dive into the motivations, of course, and the vision behind these decisions. We'll also explore Havas's journey post-listing. What have the past few months been like? How it plans to compete with industry giants such as WPP and Publicis. It stands on mergers and acquisitions, the global macroeconomic factors impacting the business, how it's embracing future-proofing in the age of AI, data, and tech. So, Yannick, straight off the bat, first we'll speak about the listings. And when I saw the restructuring in December last year, in December 2024, what intrigued me is you took three Vivendi companies, which is Canal Plus, listed it on the London Stock Exchange. Then you took Lagardère on Euronext Growth Paris and Havas on Euronext Amsterdam in three different countries. What was the thinking behind it?
Yeah, it's a great question. So first, I'm really happy to be back in Delhi. It's been a while, and it's a great pleasure to be participating to the Marquee Night. You're right. This split has been unprecedented, to split four companies in four different markets, at least three different cities between Paris, London, and Amsterdam. So the thinking behind the split was first to unlock the value of all the companies, because Vivendi was a conglomerate. Like you have many conglomerates in India, which means it's a company that regroups different other big companies in the same group. And on the Paris stock market, Vivendi was suffering from a huge discount, what we call the discount of conglomerate. And it was like around 45% at the time, which means that the stock price was not really reflecting the real value of the different assets. And it was slowing us down in terms of development, issuing new shares, doing some acquisition, paid in shares. So it was just not the ideal situation. And 4 years ago, we did a very successful spin-off already in Amsterdam with Universal Music Group. Vivendi owned 100% of Universal Music Group, the leading operator in the music industry. At the time, the value of Vivendi with 100% of Universal Music was around 25 billion euros. And we decided to split Universal Music, to list it in Amsterdam. And just the value today, as we speak tonight, of Universal Music Group is 50 billion. Wow. So can you imagine the value we have created? So it was a win-win deal for all the stakeholders, for Vivendi shareholders, Universal shareholders, but for all the talents, songwriters, the artists. It was creating value for everyone and allows Universal Music to invest. And we decided to do the same kind of mechanism with Canal Plus, which is a European leading pay TV operator, Havas. We're going to talk about Havas, a leading group in the advertising industry operating globally, and Louis Hachette, a leader in the book publishing. So why three different cities? Yeah. We have a saying in French where we say, why make it simple when you can make it complicated? And this is true. It has been very complicated to do three different listings with three different regulations, the London Stock Exchange, the Paris Stock Exchange, and the Amsterdam Stock Exchange. But at the end of the day, we have chosen very carefully the different locations. Louis Hachette is a French group with a huge presence in France, and the Paris Stock Exchange was great. Canal Plus needs to expand outside Europe and is about to close a deal with MultiChoice. It's a Pan-African leading pay TV operator based in Johannesburg, and it exists a mechanism of fast tracking if we wanted to do a dual listing between Canal Plus and MultiChoice. So that was the choice of London, and to get more, I would say, international coverage for Canal Plus. And Amsterdam, it was for a specific reason, is because when we said that we're going to list Havas, I mean, the initial reaction was positive, and then I started to receive some reaction from talents and from clients saying, oh, it's great that you're getting listed, but maybe you can become the target of a hostile takeover from a competitor or from whoever. And so we've decided to list it in Amsterdam because we created a foundation that gives power to the board to decline any possible hostile bid or takeover on Havas. So we can keep the full control of the destiny of Havas. And Amsterdam is part of Euronext, so it's the same system of listing than in France. So we were quite used to it, and we did it with Universal Music quite successfully.
Sure, you mentioned, Yannick, you were suffering from the discount of a conglomerate. There were so many brands under Vivendi. Why did you choose these three? What was the reason to choose Canal Plus, Lagardère and Havas?
Yeah, it's a great question. So those three brands are leaders in their markets. We believe that when you want to go on the stock market, especially today, you need to be, to have a proven track record or to have a very specific position on your markets. Canal Plus is a leader, Hachette is a leader, and Havas is a leader. So that's why those brands were ready to go on the stock market. At Vivendi, we also own a video game company, but it needs to grow before being able to survive on its own on the stock market.
There were also rumors going around that the reason behind splitting these entities was possibly to sell one of them. But you said that, the reason why you listed on Amsterdam Stock Exchange was to not allow a hostile takeover. Also, isn't it easy to sell a delisted company? How would you like to take on those rumors?
No, that's true. I heard this rumor, which I think has very little foundations, because if we wanted to sell any company, we could have sold it not listed. So I don't know where it's coming from. From a family standpoint, my family has been invested in media for the past 20 years. I started it with my dad back then with the TV Direct 8. It's fun that you mentioned this TV station. Now we are the largest operator in media and communication across Europe. So it was quite in a short period of time, by the way, and we are here for the long term. My family group was created 203 years ago, back in 1822. So what we see is for the long term, and we believe on the future of the media, the advertising and the communication market.
Yannick, also speaking about the Bolloré family, you still maintain a 30% stake in Havas. So how does it impact, the influence the corporate governance and strategic decision making when it comes to Havas?
Yeah, I believe it's a great advantage for Havas to have a family shareholdership. We are the only holding company, the only advertising group, when you compare with our peers, Omnicom, IPG, WPP. We are the only one with this kind of family ownership, which I think allows us to develop a long-term strategy. Our people, we spend the day together with our people at Havas India. Our clients, I'm glad to have met some great clients tonight. We are there. Are very happy to know that we will still be around, or I will still be around in 20 years. They can just call me, WhatsApp me, and we solve the problem. So I think to have this group that is owned by a family or by someone, I think helps us to project ourselves on the long term.
And tell us, what has been the impact of the listing on clients, on client perception? How have they responded to our listing itself?
Very positive. What I didn't realize is, the amount of press coverage that you get when you are listing. So every quarter we are publishing our results. But the good thing is, since we have been listed, we have only published great results. A record last year, a great first quarter. And so it's the opportunity to interact with our clients. And they know, I'm sure they like to know that Havas is performing well. So it's giving us an extra boost of of visibility, which is precious, I think, in the B2B market.
Yeah, and in a market which is dominated by large holding companies, which are now merging on top of that, how do you intend to stay competitive in this market?
We would have had this interview 8 years ago. I did the same interview in Mumbai 2.5 years ago. We would have had this interview 8 years ago. I'm not even sure that you would have invited me, because at the time, Havas was very small in India. We were only 250 people. Rana, correct me if I'm wrong, but you joined 8 years ago, Rana, and we had an ambitious plan for India. And I remember I told Rana it would be great maybe to multiply the scale of India by 5 in 5 years. And looking at the results this morning, we have multiplied our scale in India by 10 in 7 years. It's the biggest success story of growth story of any market in the world for Havas. So I think in the industry worldwide.
But having said that, given the number of consolidations that are happening in media and advertising, do you look at yourself, going forward as a consolidator, as probably a target? How would you look at yourself?
We consolidated a lot the independence in India. We grew through acquisitions. So we've made 5-6 acquisitions in India during the past 8 years. So we will continue to develop this acquisitive strategy. What's important for us is to create a unified culture at Havas. Something that will differentiate Havas from its peers. I know our clients. I know what they like at Havas. I talked about the long-term strategy policy. Our clients love that we are the challenger brand. When you're the challenger, in this room, we have many challengers. It's giving us an extra boost of motivation. I even have some clients that are leaders in their industry who love to describe themselves as challengers. So they keep the energy in the morning. So they don't, just rest on what they have achieved. And I think this is what people like at Havas, this culture, this family culture, this creativity, this media, everything we have built in data and tech. So for now, I really believe that we have the great scale to compete, even maybe the best scale, I told someone earlier today, if I were a client, if I were a CEO of any company in India, I would choose Havas as a company to work with.
And what is the reason for that?
Because Havas is, for me, the best company in terms of how it operates. It's the most integrated group in the industry. We've been the first to promote integration. Just to tell you a funny story, I don't know if I have time to give you a funny anecdote.
Yes, why not?
But some things that struck me when I joined this industry, I was coming from the media industry, production business, and I was a TV director. And I joined the advertising industry, and it was very siloed. You had the creative agencies, you had the media agencies, the social agencies, mobile. At the time, we had mobile agencies, PR agencies. And some of our agencies, they were working for the same clients. And they had no idea. I remember a meeting we had with a client that I knew. I came to the meeting with the CEO. And some of our people at Havas, they introduced themselves exchanging business cards, because they thought it was a client. And they were working with for the same company. So it was completely crazy. And so we said, let's stop it. Let's try to create something different, more unified, more integrated, in the best interest of the clients. So it's become client-centric. And our scale has allowed us to move quicker than the rest of the competition. And I think this is something that explains, this is one of the reasons that explains the success of Havas today.
And do you see a vertical collaboration between the Vivendi group when it comes to, let's say, production and the agency going forward? Do you see that?
Yeah, I believe that media is playing an integrated part of the success of any media campaign. We've launched a lot of initiative around content. How do we connect brands with customers through their passions? Like, for instance, using sports, concerts to create these kind of things. We had, I know you were in Paris recently. We had the immense privilege to host the Olympics in Paris last summer. We did all the activation for the sponsorship. It created outstanding results. So being close to media, I think it's very important, not just around entertainment, but in general. So every kind of relationship we can develop, specific relationship, like we have with Universal Music or with Canal+, I think is something that we need to nurture during the years to come.
Now, speaking about mergers and acquisitions, how do you look at the merger between IPG and Omnicom, and how will it impact the competitive landscape in the advertising industry going forward?
Yeah, I mean, IPG and Omnicom are among the top 4 holding companies in the industry. They are working currently on a merger. So the idea for them is to gain some cost synergies. I think it's more around cost synergies because they will only need one CEO, one CFO, one chief procurement officer, so one chief compliance officer, and so and so. So they will make some savings. I think for us, it's just proving our model even righter. Because our belief is that our scale is an advantage. So first we will enter the top 5 because we are number 6, so we will enter top 5 easily. So we are getting one additional rank. Then I think it's a fantastic opportunity for us to poach some great talents because what I said about CEO is the same for agencies and countries all over the world. So Havas being very attractive, I think we will be a place where we can attract great new talents. And I'm sure clients, they won't like to be in this like giant thing where they would have no idea how to navigate. So I think it would create opportunity for us.
Speaking of talent, do you think listing Havas was, like a great thing to attract the talent that, this industry is losing? Are you getting, is talent attracted to Havas after the listing even more?
I'm sure that the listing is creating more visibility and the success of Havas. Now we are publishing our results quarterly. You see Havas is among the top 2 or 3 best performers of the industry. And we have consistently be among the best performers of the industry. So I think talents now know more about Havas. In India, it's spectacular. The attractiveness of Havas, and same in lots of parts of the world. So I think maybe it has helped a lot. I think it will also help to align the interest of our talents on the results of the group. Because talents can buy shares if they believe in the company. They can get some performance shares for the most senior leaders. So at the end, it's creating like a win-win momentum, I think, for everyone, for all the stakeholders.
You spoke about integration within holding companies. Do you think that the traditional holding company model is sustainable in today's day and age, Yannick?
It's a great question. It depends what you call the traditional holding model. But I think at the end of the day, what clients expect is to find business partners, not holding companies with different agencies not working together. So Havas has adapted to this revolution. Some competitors have adapted as well. Some others are more struggling to adapt. So I think it will continue to change. Integration, of course, I would say it's almost mandatory now. I'm seeing all the competitors trying to push for more integration, but it's not always easy for them. To integrate data and tech at the core is very important. Now AI. So I think things are changing and we need to evolve. But when you look at the media landscape, in 25 years, it's more than a revolution. It's a complete disruption. Last year in India, digital represents more than 50% of the global spend of advertiser, which means that digital now represents more investment than TV plus out of home plus radio combined. It's huge.
TV is still dominant in India, by the way.
Yeah, but digital...
In terms of the chunk of the spend.
Yeah, digital now, because if you take all the digital part of TV now, the spend in digital now is the biggest since last year.
Yeah, but on the topic of, the traditional holding companies and their legacy agencies, we have seen a lot of rebranding going on in advertising. A couple of years ago, JWT, VML, and YNR merged into forming VML, and the industry was very passionate about it. Writing, of course, posts on social media platforms, on LinkedIn. Leo is the new name that we got recently. Group M, renamed as WPP Media. What are your thoughts? Like Juliet, I'm going to ask you, what's in the name?
No, it's a great question. And all CEOs or CMOs or everyone working in an industry should ask himself the question of the brand. Why would you change the brand? What for? What do you want to explain? What are the changes in your company? Where are you going forward? We've been the first to move to Havas Media. In the past, it was different names, and we moved to Havas Media 10 years ago. I think it has been successful. So I won't blame WPP to do the same. And in terms of creative name, it's different because those names are great assets. So I don't know exactly their numbers and why they are killing the brands, but I mean, when you have brand equities that you have been building during years and years and years, it's always a big bet to kill a brand. So I mean, I don't know.
It's a big bet to kill a brand, a legacy brand.
Yeah, when you
Legacy
have a very
still holds a
attractive
value.
brand. I mean, brands have a superpower. I mean, take any brands. We have the chance to have great CEOs tonight. Take any brands. When the consumer thinks about the brand, it has a value. It has a big value that you have been building. Maybe in B2B, it's less important than in B2C. But still, I think brands are assets and you need to cherish and to nurture your brands.
Now, speaking about the smaller agencies in the ecosystem, with these massive mergers happening in the industry, do you think the advertising industry is headed to too big to fail towards that? Is it going there with just these top 5, or is it going to be even smaller? Is it going to be top 3?
No, I think it exists a lot of independent agency in some countries, like independent boutiques. Some of them are performing very well. So I think at the end, it will be a combination of very large groups, such as Havas or IPG or Nicom or WPP, that can operate at scale and solve global brands for global clients. But some clients, they always like to have like small agencies to try to disrupt the thinking. So I think at the end, it will be a combination of those global groups, of which Havas is a part, and small agencies that could thrive. Then it's very hard to move from a small agency operating in a country to a global network, because you have to open countries, to hire teams all over the world to gain the trust of clients. So I think it's almost impossible. There is a kind of barrier to entry for newcomers at global level, at global scale, but you can still achieve great things at local level, I think.
Now, future-proofing your own agency and your own business, future-proofing Havas. What does future-proofing mean to you, Yannick? What is the meaning of it?
For me, it means a lot because I talked about my family group, which was created in 1822. Havas has been created in 1835. So it's a huge responsibility. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that Havas will still be future-proof in, I wouldn't say 190 years, but will still be future-proof in the coming 10, 20 years. So my fear as a CEO of the company is to miss disruption on my industry. So every time there is something new, I just go on it, trying to make some research, to invest. So sometimes I made some mistakes. 2 years ago, it was, we're talking about the metaverse. You remember those fancy digital walls? So we also like acquired lands, digital lands. We don't have that many people today visiting our lands, but I didn't want to miss a revolution. So my point is, if you want to remain future-proof, never be arrogant. And what I tell to never be arrogant, stay humble, even if you're a leader in some markets or in your industry. I mean, any startup from anywhere in the world can invent something that could destroy you. And we've seen it a lot those past 20 years. I mean, if you take the number of companies that are part of the Fortune 500, I think 70% of them didn't exist like 30 years ago or 40 years ago. So let's stay humble.
Avenger, Marvel, or a superhero character that comes to your mind when you think of Rana or Mohit Joshi?
It's a tough one. Rana, it's going to be an easy one. He would be Batman. And for Mohit, I'm not sure he exists, but I would say Captain India.
CNBC TV18 Marquee Nights.